Do you want to earn money in automatic mode? Do you want to have passive income? You will find a link in description to this video. Make registration and get your passive income like on these screenshots.
Hello everyone. In this video, I want to talk about the 10 most reliable cars in the world. Of course this video cannot be without Toyota cars. The Land Cruiser 80 series was unveiled in October 1989 at the Tokyo Motor Show and launched in early 1990. It had swing-out back doors, which were replaced by a tailgate and hatch in 1994. The Land Cruiser was nicknamed the Burbuja Bubble in Colombia and Venezuela due to its roundness. The J was initially offered in two versions in these countries, the fully loaded X and an entry-level model that included a vinyl interior with optional air conditioning. In 1996, the entry model was upgraded to a medium-equipped model named Otana, including cloth upholstery, standard air conditioning and powered driver seat. The name is a reference to the Tepuy Mesa Otana, a spectacular plateau and cave system along the Guiana Shield Craton. Toyota engineers are great at building reliable cars, so the second, third and fourth places will be Toyota Mark II, Toyota Chaser and Toyota Cresta with engine 1Gs. The early generation 1Gs combined the inherent smoothness of an inline 6-cylinder engine with the revving capacity of its short stroke and early power delivery of its small, ceramic-wheeled turbochargers. The ceramic turbine wheels are prone to delamination in the setting of high impeller RPM and local temperature conditions, usually a result of higher boost. The first generation 1Gs were even more prone to turbo failure due to there being a faulty one-way valve on the head, specifically on the intake cam cover, causing blow-by gases to go into the intake manifold. On the exhaust side, a decent amount of oil vapor flows into the turbos, causing premature wear on the seals. The fix is simple, and involves replacement of the Kekiev valve 2Gs, all parts are available through Toyota. The third generation of the 1Gs was introduced around 1996, still as a liter turbo, but with Toyota's beams architecture. This included a reworked head, newly developed continuously variable valve timing mechanism, VVI, modified water jackets for improved cylinder cooling and newly developed shims with a titanium nitride coating for reduced cam friction. The single turbo is in part made more efficient by the use of smaller exhaust ports in the head. This allows the escaping exhaust gases to have more velocity as they exit the head, which in turn, spools the turbo faster and at lower RPM. Mercedes in the 90s also made reliable cars that could cover more than 1 million kilometers. Mercedes-Benz W, the automobile that might have blown up all records of longevity. Even the owner finds it hard to believe. He never expected it when he purchased it 28 years ago. It is said that they don't make cars like they used to anymore. It is most likely to be true, but how did they used to make them back then? Well, as unprofitable as it may sound these days, they made them last. And here is a solid evidence. A Mercedes-Benz E-Class W, manufactured in 1991, traveled approximately card million kilometers or card miles. By 1997, it had already reached its first million, without even requiring any change except oil and filters and several other consumables. The odometer stopped counting, since the car was not even designed to live that long and cover such a mileage. But the owner counted on and on, until he can hardly believe how far the vehicle has gone. The diesel of his white W is coupled to an automatic transmission still functional today. As the photos reveal, rust has eaten it away here and there, but the engine and other mechanical parts are in mint condition. Owner, Magnus Esla, now 84 years old, used to be a taxi driver in Norway. The petrol engines were great too. The ME-liter engine is the last and biggest inline 6-cylinder engine produced by Mercedes, and made the ME and ME. It appeared in 1991. The liter M was the start point for the new L version. The main differences are the new cylinder block, new 89.9 pistons and new crankshaft with bigger 80 form stroke. The cylinder head is the same as ME with 4 valves per cylinder. The engine has reliable double-strand chain unlike the single-strand chain on the old M engine. In 1992 the engine got variable geometry intake manifold. The manufacturer produced the liter and liter versions also, ME and ME. The next generation of 6-cylinder engines got V configuration. V engines released in 1997 as M series, liter engine as ME. Do you think Bs in the 80s and 90s were as unreliable as they are today? Of course not. The BMW E is the third generation of the BMW 5 Series, which was produced from November 2, 1987 until 1996. Initially launched as a sedan in January 1988, the E also saw a touring station wagon estate body style added in September 1992, a first for the 5 Series. BMW replaced the E with the E5 Series in December 1995, although E touring models remained in production until June 1996.
BMW M engine 6-cylinder piston engine with 2 overhead camshafts, which was submitted in January 1989 on 5 Series E, and thus replacing the previously installed 2-valve M. A little later, this engine was installed on the BMW 3 Series E. BMW M engine is available in 2 versions, with a volume of 2.0 and 2.5 litres and produced in the Steyr factory. Until 1996, all car engines were produced. BMW M engine is considered to be one of the most reliable engines of BMW. Listed below are the possible malfunction of the engine, but it is necessary to take into account the proper engine maintenance, because with proper maintenance, the engine will show itself in a good way. Overheating, advise check the radiator pump thermostat, the presence of air pockets in the cooling system and radiator cap.
Claiming that the BMW is one of the best Bs ever produced because its inline 6-cylinder engine is not only sounding great but it's performing the same way, while the rear-wheel drive configuration along with the lack of X-pin traction control is allowing every petrolhead to enjoy the driving experience at the maximum.
Reliability wasn't an issue with this particular 3 Series, but I recently found a 325i, equipped with the MB engine, which reached car kilometer or million mile. We are talking about a 1990 model which for 4 years was running on a dyno, 24 out of 7, 365 out of 365. Mobile S testing facility was behind this, testing how the latest synthetic oil is acting in long-term usage along with their additives. After the 4-year period, the engine was taken apart and was analyzed by Mobile S engineers who could deduct their conclusions, but they remained realistic because they were aware that the lack of cold start and the lack of real-world driving caused less fading to the engine, despite the fact that it was running at different speeds. But car kilometers or 1 million miles is still car kilometers or 1 million miles, so for advertising purposes it was perfect. And don't forget about the reliability of the Audi.
Us Europeans will all recognize the C-chassis Audi 100, the big German Autobahn locomotive that has been a part of any European cityscape for over 30 years now.
But few people, even car guys, have ever really stopped to reflect over just what a fantastic car this was, and still is. I have, and I thought I'd share with you my thoughts on this big boxy German, and why it's my favorite car ever made. Now this is gonna be one long ass post, so get yourself a nice cup of tea and make sure you're sitting comfortably. Here goes.
The 1900 ADS was a renaissance for Audi after the 6DS and 7DS had gained them a reputation of making expensive Volkswagens that seemed lackluster when compared to a sleek and sporty BMW or a stately Mercedes-Benz.
But when the Audi Quattro took home numerous rare victories thanks to its turbocharged 5-cylinder engine and Audi's system, it gave Audi that flair and racing pedigree they needed to make a name for themselves. Of course, if they wanted a piece of the executive car market, their road cars had to be good too, and that's where the Audi 100C comes in. Now, before I proceed in telling you why I love the C100 so much, there is something you need to understand about me and my opinion on cars.
It is no secret that I abhor the automatic transmission with a passion. I firmly believe the muscle car died in 1972 and I think all modern cars are shit, what with their fat A-pillars and cramped interiors and complicated electronics that are bound to scrap the car kilometers down the line.
Finishing our list with Nissan. It's important for an executive car to pamper the driver, and the Nissan Maxima Maxi doesn't do too badly. It provides a decent high-speed ride, and around town it's fine. However, the handling just can't compete with the German models that dominate this class. The steering is lifeless and it feels nose-heavy through the corners. The 2V engines are the car's strengths, pulling smoothly right through the rev range. They're quiet too, which sadly means you can hear just how much road noise there is. As you'd expect of a Nissan, the dashboard is well laid out, but the cabin has none of the quality in the Axi's rivals. There's no reach adjustment for the steering wheel either, and taller drivers will find it short on headroom. Rear passengers get the best deal, with acres of space to spread out in, but the way the suspension intrudes into the boot limits its practicality. Write your opinion about the most reliable cars. Thanks for watching and see you.